is up? We are back to back like the Los Angeles Lakers in the 80s, like the Celtics in the 80s, and like the Bulls in the 90s. Shout out to everybody out there. Hey, man, 066, man, what's going on, man? You already know. Man, you know I ain't doing shit. you know I ain't doing shit. Reading, researching. About to talk about this clown-ass shit today, but what's going on, bro? Man, shout out to everybody at the Court Plantation right now as we speak. Man, that shit is not fun. It's hot than a motherfucker now. Nigga was just complaining about it's cold than a motherfucker. Now it's hot than a motherfucker outside, man. God damn. God damn. I'm definitely not trying to fuck with that, man. Man, shout out to everybody that's working at the Court Plantation that's on the inside. God damn, I ain't mad at you. If you're on the outside, much power and respect to you. I know how that shit feel. You gonna work at the Court Plantation, get you an office job, get you a desk job. You know, if you want to activate your melanin, you can do that on your off time. You ain't got to be doing that for these people. Working your goddamn physical capabilities into the goddamn ground, and then you can't even function on your own shit. So shout out to everybody out there that's handling business. I am drinking some moringa tea right now. That's what you see me drinking. Got my water right there, a little alkaline water. So, you know, shout out to everybody out there that's handling business. Shout out to all my finessing ass niggas too that's come on the job just begging. I mean, look, shout out to everybody that don't go to work and be begging. Now, there's a couple plantations I worked at, ain't that nigga beg for nothing. But goddamn, if I ain't never saw so many grown motherfuckers, and these are not melanated folk, by the way. These are other racial groups. Just come to work, just begging. You know, when you see other racial groups beg, you be like, oh, this motherfucker might be a dope fiend or a gambler or something. Something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all them gambling, begging ass motherfuckers too. So shout out to them. Shout out to all my black tar heroin users too that just be in the bathroom just doing black tar heroin and come out sweating when it's fucking 20 degrees below and motherfuckers just sweating. So shout out to all them motherfuckers too. Shout out to everybody out there that's trying to team up, you know what I'm saying, so they can be on a come up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my single ladies out there too. All my single ladies and shit. Now, I'll tell you, this is my perspective. If you single, some women, they choose to be single, but some women, bitch, you just single because you ain't doing what the fuck you supposed to be doing, bitch. So shout out to everybody that's choosing to be single, and the people that ain't, then, you know, hey, I don't know what to tell you. God's not done with you yet. Shout out to all my ladies out there that's trying to slang some pussy over the internet. Hey, man, I tell all my niggas, if you gonna do that, check the Carfax. Because a lot of bitches got over 150,000 miles on their pussy hole and need a transmission drop. Check engine light is on. And want to have the nerve to be like, well, you got to take me on a date. I want to eat. You got to take me to the movies. Bitch, a date is $100 right now. Nigga, inflation is a motherfucker. Come out here to Las Vegas and see how expensive rent is. Nigga, I remember in Las Vegas, Nevada, rent used to be $650, $630, $600 for a two-bedroom apartment. Shit, you not getting that in your dreams now, nigga. And you can thank all these suck-ass niggas wanting the Raiders and everybody to come out here, and that's why it's so goddamn expensive. That's what you dumb-ass niggas get, cheering for the Raiders, and niggas ain't even got jobs. So shout out to all these dumb-ass niggas jumping around for a team and shit that they don't own no stock, no inventory in the motherfuckers, but they want to be jumping around. Fuck that. And we're going to get into some shit today, man. We're going to talk about some shit. We're going to definitely talk about the racial wealth gap. And I'm going to play some audio from our fearless leader, Mr. Joe 94 Crime Bill Biden. And we're definitely going to talk about, I want to talk about this in the beginning. So we're going to talk about how all these NBA basketball players are arguing and fighting with each other about a nigga stomping on the floor. First of all, none of y'all niggas own shit. Y'all don't own the Boston Celtics. Y'all don't own the motherfucking Brooklyn Nets. So why would y'all be defending these teams? Fuck these teams. Stomp all over their court. Them motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. So we're going to get into a little bit of that too. And we're going to talk about how this all relates to the Court Plantation. Let's get into it. Man. First, man, I guess Mr. Kyrie Irving, I guess he stomped on the court and somebody threw a drink at him or something. I don't know. I just find it, I wish niggas fought for their own businesses like they fight for the slave masters sometimes. Man, motherfuckers are argue you down about how dare you stump on it. You disrespecting the court. Nigga, what? Disrespecting the court? The Boston Celtics don't give a fuck about no niggas. And neither does the Brooklyn Nets. But a motherfucker argue you down and want to fight with you over some integrity of a goddamn basketball game that you don't even own. You don't own a patent for it. You don't own nothing. And niggas want to be arguing and going back and forth about that shit. Man, fuck. I'll be like, man, fuck all this shit. I'm here to get paid, nigga. I'm not here to be defending no goddamn basketball team. That's why nigga, hey man, you watch the game. Sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't. If I don't catch the basketball game, ain't no love lost. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. Because for one, they're trying to Europeanize it. That's one. And two, they want the next great white hype. That's what they want. And they're searching far and wide. And that's why it's hard for me to watch basketball, because I just be like, God damn, man, they done everything that they possibly can to make it European friendly. God damn. So I'm kind of over that shit. I got bigger fish to fry. Like, when are they going to have more black owners in the NBA instead of just white Jewish owners? That's what I'm worried about. And fuck a football. Football don't give a fuck about no niggas. Motherfucker, man, please. Look, football done moved on. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They gonna play all that dumb shit while that shit is prevalent. Then when it ain't prevalent, they don't give a fuck. So I just wanted to get that off my chest real quick, because I think it's very imperative that we look at those type of things and always question, why are these two niggas defending a goddamn basketball logo that y'all both don't own? That's crazy. But yeah, man, we gonna get into it, man. Mr. Joe 94 Crime Bill Biden did a speech on the racial wealth gap. Now, before I play this audio, I find it so funny. You signed an executive order for Asians, right? But when it comes to reparations, a motherfucker act like they don't know what the fuck is going on. But why is it that you can give us everything but reparations? I don't understand that. What do you mean, Warren? This is what I mean by this. If you sign an executive order for Asians, you know what I'm saying, as if they're really oppressed, which they're not. You sign one for them, but you've been hearing us talk about reparations. You danced all around it. You talked all around it. And I just knew it. Because I was reading some of what he said. So I was reading it, and I'm like, oh, man, here we go. But I already knew it, man. I knew it. I knew they was going to do that. And the only reason why they talking about the racial wealth gap and all that is because so many black folk are giving so many other black people that are directly connected to Mr. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They getting a lot of flack. So now they like going back at them like, oh, we got to talk about this. And I'm getting a lot of pushback. So now motherfuckers like, all right, well, I'll talk about it. And it sounds good, but basically they just gonna include, I already know what they're gonna do. Broad ambiguous terms. They're gonna include everybody else in this fucking whatever bill that he gonna do, but it ain't reparations. That's what I'm waiting on. I was reading from this, I was reading on my phone where this sister was just like, man, she cleaned it up, but she was just like, you know, white Americans, oh, how they always forget history. Like they don't even know selective memory. They only want to remember what they want to remember. They want to remember Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. George Washington ain't tell no lie. But this nigga yanking out niggas' teeth and shit. First of all them white supremacists was dressed like bitches with these fake curly wigs and shit, that European bullshit. I'm like, man, ain't nobody notice that shit? That's one. Two, go watch Bug Breaking. That's two. And three, come on, man. That's why when you talk about racism and white supremacy, these motherfuckers act like this shit was 300 years ago. Like it ain't been no racism in 250 years. That's why they always hit you with why y'all keep bringing that up? But does the white Jewish community ever let us forget the Holocaust? Because that happened in Europe, but we still talking about it. So why the fuck we can't talk about what happened on U.S. soil? Why is it every time we talk about what happens in the United States of America incorporated, why is that they always want us to forget? And this is every other racial group too. Let me tell you when other racial groups will be cheering on reparations. Let me tell you when they'll be cheering on reparations. when they feel like they can get a piece of it. Then you'll see all the Latinos, all the Asians, everybody, reparations for black people, when they know they can get something. See, they know they can't get nothing because they didn't build the country, so they don't give a fuck. So they're not going to speak up. But y'all shouldn't be expecting these other racial groups to speak up because it isn't their fight. That's why they don't give a fuck. Why would they? Why would they give a fuck about you being equal to the dominant white society? They know what the racial pecking order is. They know what the hierarchy of need is. They know that the dominant white society is at the top and black folk are at the bottom, and every other racial group is in the middle. And they're jockeying for position. That's why they go out of their way to treat niggas like shit. I've experienced it my damn self. I've been around people that experience it. Now, I'm not saying that every other racial group is racist and all. I'm not saying that. You have to keep it in context. And what I mean by that is this. If any other racial group is around you and they're trying to establish a system of justice, they not pulling no hoe shit. They not replicating none of that dominant white society behavior. They're not doing none of that. They're, matter of fact, going out of their way to make sure that things are, I would say, evenly distributed and that there is justice that prevails anytime any other racial group dealing with the dominant white society going against native black people, that there's a system of justice that's established. Meaning this, if you're beefing with another racial group, right, and you know that these black people are beefing with this other racial group because they have a tendency to replicate the behavior of the dominant white society, by proxy, you're supposed to be establishing a system of justice. Meaning this, you should be going over to that racial group and trying to see what you get out of it. Stop. So many racial groups, they try to be detectives, especially at these corporate plantations. They get a high off that. They want to be a detective. And what did you say? What did they say? No, those are, let me tell you what those people are. Especially if they're men. They're bitches. They're females. This is all they have. They have no pride in who they are. Their home lives are in shambles. They get no respect outside that corporate plantation. And they are a failure in life. And I don't give a fuck what job they got. If a motherfucking man is going out of his way to be doing an investigation and playing pet detective, that's a straight female. That's hoe shit. Real men don't conduct themselves like that. Real men allow people to show themselves and they make the decision from there. Facts. Wasn't that in the Bible? Or who was it? Was it King Solomon or one of them? The bitches, one bitch could have babies and the other bitch couldn't have babies. So the bitch that had a baby, she would take care of her woman, and the bitch that she had a baby, she slept on her baby and killed her baby. So she went in there and stole another baby. So then the lady was like, man, you stole my baby. So they went before the king, and the king was smart. He was like, all right, well, we'll just cut the baby in half, and both of you guys can have a piece of the baby. So the real mother was like, nah, don't do that. Don't kill my baby. My baby can stay with her. And that's how he knew, okay, I know what the fuck is going on. No, he didn't go and do a fucking investigation. If we're going by the Bible, that nigga didn't go do no investigation. Well, come on. Now see what she said first. Then let me talk to her and see what she says. And then we'll talk to everybody that was up. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Niggas ain't got time for no shit like that. So when you see motherfuckers acting like that at these corporate plantations, those are straight hoes, man. They ain't got no life. They're failures at life, period. They did not pass go. They did not collect $200. Most of them probably couldn't get no women before they worked at that corporate plantation. And any women that's around them because they a sucker or a goofy. Now, if it's a woman doing that, that's to be expected. And no diss to my women, but a lot of women are, I would say, tedious when it comes to those type of processes. Some of them they could just see it from a mile away. A lot of other racial groups, those women, they can kind of see it if they're about establishing a system of justice. So remember that. So if there's any other racial group but they're not about establishing a system of justice, then they're a white supremacist too, or they're an honorary white supremacist, or they're a rookie in the G League trying to be a white supremacist. That's what they're trying to do. So they're trial by fire. If they do enough good deeds to the white supremacists, then they can become an honorary one, because that's what they want to do anyway. I've been around them. They'll talk to you, and then get around the dominant white society. The dominant white society start telling nigga jokes and all that, and they be the main one laughing, and the main one then, when it's like, hey man, tell me what was said in the room. Oh man, they ain't say nothing. Because you so busy trying to get your shit. So don't expect any other racial group to have your back. Don't expect any other racial group to stand up, because they're not going to stand up. I've seen it a million times at too many different corporate plantations. So don't ever expect, don't go on there like, oh yeah, they cool. No, those people are not your friends. Protect your neck at all times. Handle business. Stop thinking because people got on a Black Lives Matter t-shirt that they're for reparations, because they are not. Because if they were, motherfucking more white dominant society people would be saying, hey, reparations. We can end this all right now if they just get the money that they're owed and deserved for building this country. But no, you know, the dominant society, they have selective memory or amnesia or Alzheimer's, where they just act like, wait, what are we doing right now? Wait, what happened to black people? Oh man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm about to play this audio so y'all can hear this shit for yourself. First of all, I think Joe Biden got Alzheimer's my damn self. This motherfucker be forgetting shit and be looking around like he don't even know what the fuck he done said. So we about to play this shit right now here, man. Let me turn this off so we can play this motherfucker right here.
Targeted toward black wealth creation that will also help the entire community. The first is my administration has launched an aggressive effort to combat racial discrimination in housing. That includes everything from redlining.
Things that I've been talking about and everybody else that's fighting a good fight has been talking about for how many years? Redlining, gentrification. Come on, man. Lynching. See, they know this shit. They're just being forced to talk about a lot of it because a lot of black people are sweating these boule motherfuckers who convince a lot of black people to vote for this motherfucker, and now he ain't saying shit about black people. So now black people are going back to these boule people. Hey, man, so what the fuck is up with the racial gap? Hey, man, what the fuck is up with us not having no bread? So now the dominant society is forced to talk about it, but that doesn't mean they're going to do anything. Trick words. You got to think about it. That's a lot of trickery. We're launching an investigation. Stop. Launching an investigation, that don't do nothing at all.
The cruel fact that a home owned by a black family is too often appraised at a lower value than a similar home owned by a white family.
No shit, Sherlock. We know that. Matter of fact, I did a podcast probably about a week or two ago where this sister, I forgot her name, she listed her house up for sale. Either for sale or she wanted to take money off of it. She listed her house up. Either or, if you want to borrow your home, you still got to get it reappraised because they have to reappraise it to see what it's worth, to see how much equity you can take out of it. Okay, that's another subject, but I'm just saying that's what it is. So when she got it appraised, guess what? They lowered the value by like $100,000 or some shit. And then she took down all the black pictures of everything, had a white woman list the house as if it was a white woman who owned it, $250,000 more in appraisal. So I've been talking about this shit, and everybody else been, any socially conscious black person, they been saying this shit. Everybody been talking about this shit, and he know it, and that's why the fuck he bringing it up. Stop. You already know what the fuck is going on. All it take down your black pictures and take everything out. Just put a whole bunch of white pictures up of white kids and white people. Just go to Hallmark and just get the Hallmark cards and just put those pictures up. They ain't gonna know. They gonna still think it's a white family. You'll get more money. It's the fact. But everybody clapping. Stop.
And I might add, and I need help if you have an answer to this one. I can't figure this one out, Congressman Horsford. But if you live in a black community and there's another one on the other side of the highway, it's a white community, it's built by the same builder, and you have a better driving record than the guy with the same car in the white community, you're getting paid more for your auto insurance. Shockingly, the percentage of black American homeownership is lower today in America than when the Fair Housing Act was passed more than 50 years ago.
No way. We know that. That's why there was redlining, gentrification. That's why the FHA was created. It was not created for black folk. It was created for poor and middle-class white people. That's what the FHA was created. It was not created for black. Any of these laws, any of these policies that they put into place, they are not created for you. And if they are, they're going to hide it in legal jargon and tie it up in a bow. And it's going to have so much Medusa kind of fucking snakes coming out of everywhere where you're going to be so distracted by the wordplay, you ain't even going to know what the fuck they talking about. That's what they know that. They know we are disproportionately way behind them in home ownership. That's why I think it's very imperative that foundational black Americans, melanated brothers and sisters need to start teaching their kids about ownership. Buying a piece of the earth like E40 talks about. Stop trying to go get the freshest car. Stop trying to go get the freshest pair of shoes. You better go get you a crib. Because I'm telling you right now, this is what happens. When you don't go get a piece of the earth, right? You don't go get a piece of the earth. Let's just say out of 10 black people, 3 black people buy a home and everybody else just go live in an apartment. You're paying somebody else's mortgage. That's one. And 2, how do you build the community? How do you have group economics? If everybody has home ownership, that's generational wealth for your family's generation. And 2, on top of that, what that does is that puts more pressure on who's your commissioner or your alderman, or because if more black people own homes, now you can talk. Now you can move mountains because now you have ownership behind your belt. You can use that money. You can take money off your home. You could borrow. You could rent your home. You could do so many things with that, and they know that. And 2, you can use some of that money if you want to take it off your home, and you can put some bread on those politicians' head to make them do what you need them to do. It's called buying, or what they say, leasing or renting. That's what Dr. Claude Anderson talks about. That's what we need to do. That's why home ownership is so important. You can do so many things with it. You can use that as leverage. Okay, you know what? I want to start a business. Let's see how much equity I got in my home. Okay, I got $90,000 in equity. So since I got $90,000 in equity, I'm going to take $60,000 now. And you know what? I'm going to go start this business. I'm not telling people to do that shit. Make sure you got a business plan, but those are things that you can do with a home. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that you could do to avoid a lot of times going to the dominant society to get a loan, depending on what type of business you're trying to run. Because a lot of times you ain't got to go run to them, man. I think we're supposed to, but there's other ways and avenues. And I think it starts with home ownership. And then the second thing, I think, is stocks, bonds, 401k, and IRAs and mutual funds.
Lower today. That's wrong. And we're committed to changing that. Just imagine if instead of denying millions of Americans the ability to own their own home and build generational wealth, we made it possible for them to buy a home and build equity into that home and provide for their families. Second, small businesses are the engines of our economy and the glue of our communities. As president, my administration oversees hundreds of billions of dollars in federal contracts.
So then why don't you just give us reparations if you oversee hundreds of billions of dollars?
For everything from refurbishing decks of aircraft carriers to installing railings in federal buildings to professional services. We have a thing called, I won't go into it all, but there's not enough time now, but I'm determined to use every taxpayer's dollar that is assigned to me to spend going to American companies and American workers.
You notice he ain't said nothing about no reparation, no black folk. He started talking about Americans. See, that's the trick. That's the wordplay. See, he went from black Americans to Americans. He ain't say shit about no reparations, and he really didn't give you no planned detail of what he's planning on doing to close the racial wealth gap. He just running his mouth. He ain't doing nothing. That's why I think it's important. Because let me tell you something. Like I said, when I worked for the city of Las Vegas and they were having a meeting with the councilman that was over that ward up there, they was going in. They were all homeowners for the most part. They all pay taxes. You pay taxes anyway, whether you're a homeowner or not. You pay taxes. So it doesn't matter. But if you're a homeowner, they send you like this. It's like a tax receipt, basically. It's like an explanation of taxes and where your money goes. And then you see it goes to the Clark County School District. It goes to the city streets and sanitation. It goes to this and it goes to that. That's why a lot of people, they'll go to those councilman meetings because they like, man, motherfucker, I pay taxes. That's why I don't give a fuck about no nigga telling me I can't, if I don't vote, then I should shut up. Nigga, my taxes tell me different. They should make it, well, if you don't vote, then you don't have to pay taxes. Not no, well, if you don't vote, then you shouldn't say nothing. Y'all got me fucked up. Nigga, my taxes say otherwise. You better ask the motherfucking, what's the motherfucking name? They be taking out all them goddamn taxes? Stop.
To build American products. And as part of that, I'm going to increase the share of the dollars the federal government spends to small disadvantaged businesses, including black and brown small businesses. Right now.
Oh, nigga, did you hear that shit, 066? The nigga said black and brown. What did I tell y'all niggas, man? Y'all need to go read Black Letter White Wolf. There it is, man. There it is. I ain't even listen to the shit. Black and brown. So you know what that means. You can be an East Indian. Would you like to buy a squishy, my friend? And you gonna get the loan. And you could be a Latino. Hey, fool. Kick back, dog. You can get the money too. And then by the time a nigga be like, hey, man, I'm a foundational Black American. I want to get that money too. They going to be like, clown. We didn't already gave it to Black and brown. We gave it to brown. And you going to be like, what you mean you gave it to brown? That's exactly what happens. I'm telling you, remember that time? Hey, he fried. Hey, you see how he was looking? That motherfucker might have Alzheimer's like Ronald Reagan did. I'm telling you that time, nigga, I was at it's this recreation center called Doolittle Community Center, and they was giving out backpacks. Now, Doolittle Community Center is on the west, so that's predominantly black, historically black people. Man, it was so many motherfucking Latinos there. I ain't never seen this many in my life, but they was there for them fucking free backpacks to the point where the white marshals that was policing the event was lying and telling the Latinos, ain't no more backpacks. I saw two white, I ain't gonna say their names, and I forgot their names, but I'll never forget this shit. And me and a homeboy, we was there, we was all chilling. My nigga that worked at Doolittle with me at the time, we was like laughing. We was like, man, what y'all doing? Man, both the white marshals was like, this is Doolittle Community Center. This is the historically black West Side. This is for African Americans, black people. This is not for the Latino community. Well, one marshal said Latino. One marshal was like, this ain't for Mexicans. Straight out. She was like, if they wanted to do a backpack for Mexicans, they would have did that shit on Lake Mead and Civic Center. She was going in. I just was like, damn, y'all wrong. They like, no, we not. That's the problem. When they do shit over there in that neighborhood, black people don't be over there. But when you want to do it over here, you hear it on the radio, you hear free shit, you want to just come and get it. And you know, black people, we're the most accepting group. I would say the United States of America. We're the most accepting racial group in the United States of America Incorporated. The reason why I say that is because, you know, you can move in our neighborhood, we don't sweat you. But if you move in their neighborhood, they put nigger on your wall, they fucking with your kids, they throwing rocks through your windows. But when they move in your neighborhood, you trip. You treat them with respect. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can see why those white marshals was going in. He ain't no more. Yeah, that nigga probably on medication, man. Too accepting and accept ourselves. That's facts. You right about that shit, man. That's real shit. I remember that shit, man. The motherfucking marshals was going in, man. I was laughing. And then I kind of stopped laughing because they were like, that shit is not funny. Like the white marshal was like, bro, that really is not funny, man. Like, it's so many black kids that need, you know, school supplies and backpacks and stuff like that. And they can get their shit. They go to North Las Vegas and get their shit. That's where they be at. And one of the marshals was like, first of all, you know, because we would have a marshal stationed at Doolittle Community Center. So this marshal, I couldn't even argue with this marshal. And they was white. They basically was like, bro, I'm up here every day. You see me every day. I don't never see no fucking Mexicans up here. It's only black people. He was like, so what the fuck are they doing here? This shit ain't for them. And I was like, man, I ain't finna say nothing, man. And he just was looking at me like, why don't y'all fucking say nothing? We probably should have been like, bro, this ain't for you. This is not for you. This is for our kids. Let our kids get the man. And that line was so fucking long. Man, that line was long than a motherfucker. It was so many Latinos out there. And I was tripping like, damn, how they find out about this shit? Yup. Same thing. And then when we did a tournament and Nike was sponsoring it, nobody was calling or asking. But when they announced on the radio that Nike was going to be giving away free shoes, oh my God, you should have saw how many motherfucking Latinos up there. Nigga, I was dying laughing. But they didn't know it was capitated on how many pair of shoes was going to be given away. So then when the shoes ran out, them motherfucking Latinos got ghost. They was like, oh, they said it was going to be free food. Because I was working there. I was like, no, they lied. Ain't no free food. You got to pay. And then them motherfuckers start turning around and leaving. And I'm like, why they all going? And then one of the homegirls at the front desk was like, because they thought they was getting free shit. So motherfuckers always talking that shit about niggas like we want free shit, but it's every other racial group that come here and they always want some free shit. But as Dr. Claude Anderson said, if you did not build this country and your lineage is not traced back to foundational black Americans that built this country or native blacks, you are a fucking freeloader. That's what you are. And I don't give a fuck what a nigga say.
It calls for 10%. I'm going to move that to 15% of every dollar spent will be spent with that. I have the authority to do that. Just imagine if instead of denying millions of entrepreneurs the ability to access capital and contracting, we made it possible to take their dreams to the marketplace to create jobs and invest in our communities. The data shows young black entrepreneurs are just as capable of succeeding given the chance as white entrepreneurs are.
Wait, he said the data shows that black entrepreneurs are just as capable as white entrepreneurs to be successful. They just need... No shit, nigga. Tulsa, Oklahoma, let me tell y'all something. Tulsa, Oklahoma has so many doctors, lawyers, dentists, everything, right? Man, when them white motherfuckers went over there and was like, damn, these niggas got it popping over here, they couldn't wait to burn that motherfucker down. Y'all better go, look, just go research Rosewood. Or just go research your boy Andrew Jackson, who they wanted to put on one side of the $20 bill, and then Harriet Tubman on the other side of the $20 bill. That's like me saying, hey, for the dollar, let's put Hitler on one side of the $20 bill, and then we'll get a prominent Jewish person on the other side of the $20 bill. How do you think the white Jewish community will respond to that? But they'll do that shit to niggas in a heartbeat. That should be having me dying laughing. And the nigga want to talk about, oh, so if we just give black people a chance, they can be successful. Man, get the fuck out of here playing dumb. These niggas be playing dumb. Selective memory, man. White fragility.
But they don't have lawyers. They don't have accountants. But they have great ideas. Does anyone doubt this whole nation would be better off from the investments those people make? And I promise you, that's why I set up this National Small Business Administration that's much broader, because they're going to get those loans.
But why do we need a loan, though? See, that's why I want reparations. Reparations ain't no fucking loan. And I would say since it's 40 million people, which I think the census is lying, because they be lying, they trying to drive the foundational black American numbers down, and they trying to raise up the dominant white society and every other racial group because of genetic annihilation. You need to go read the ISIS papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. It'll teach you a lot about that. And go read Powernomics. It'll teach you a lot about that too. But I don't think that they're telling the truth about the census. I think there's more foundational black Americans in the United States of America Incorporated than what they're saying. That's one. And two, why the fuck would we want a loan when we built the country? That's like a nigga building your house, right? That's like a nigga, he built your house. And you like, well, instead of me paying you, I'm going to just give you some food. And then I'm going to loan you some money. The nigga going to be like, nigga, I built the house. No, nigga, give me my motherfucking money. And you going to be like, well, nah, my nigga, I'm going to just give you some food and loan you some money. But you got to pay me back. Nigga, I built the house already. That's basically what they saying. And niggas always jumping around. Oh, Joe Biden going to do something good for black people. Get the fuck out of here. How was a loan good for black people when we built the country for free? It's like, damn, nigga. Hey, I stopped taking math after algebra 2. But goddamn, nigga. 2 minus 10,000. What the fuck is that? It's like, come on, man, he's trying to help us. Nigga, he just said it was a loan. That's not helping us, nigga.
Instead of consigning millions of American children to under-resourced schools, let's get each and every child 3 and 4 years old access to school, not daycare, school. In the last 10 years, studies have been done by all the great universities. It shows that it increased by 56% the possibility of a child, no matter what background they come from, no matter what. If they start school at 3 years old, they have a 56% chance of going all through all 12 years without any trouble and being able to do well. And a chance to learn and grow and thrive in a school and throughout their lives. And let's unlock more than an incredible creativity and innovation that will come from the nation's historically black colleges and universities.
I wonder who wrote this speech. It was probably Ta-Nehisi Coates, or it was probably, let's see who else is a good speech writer. It had to be a Sambo who wrote this shit for him. Because the nigga started talking about historically black colleges. Now, look, first of all, let me give you a little bit of education on that. Every historically black college, the HSBCU, whatever the fuck y'all niggas want to call it, hey, man, I'm going to tell you right now, they're all named after white supremacists. Spelman, That's Rockefeller's wife. Go look it up. Go Google it. This is all shit you can Google if you don't know by now. These colleges are all named after racist white people. They didn't name these colleges after, in the colleges that they did name, you don't even know who, like Bethune-Cookman University. Bethune-Cookman, she was in this book called The Negro Project. I got it sitting right there. They kind of used her to get niggas to get genetically annihilated, basically. Because they're trying to get niggas to go to the Planned Parenthoods to get sterilized. So they used, I forgot that sister's, I know her last name is Bethune, but she was one of the sisters. She was like real smart. She had her shit together. So she was a prominent foundational black American. So what Margaret Sanger did, who was Hillary Clinton's hero, she got with this sister and was like basically all the prominent black foundational black Americans and got with them and was like, hey, y'all need to tell these other black people to go to Planned Parenthood because, you know, they can't afford to take care of these kids anyway. And since you guys are broke, you know, just tell them they can go to Planned Parenthood, get sterilized, then they don't have to have kids anymore. So what they was doing was the foundational black Americans, the boule, the black people that were successful, they was like convincing, you know, the poor, the miseducated black folk to go get sterilized. And Bethune, I forgot that sister's first name, but she was one of them that was kind of going along with that bullshit too. No diss, but I'm just telling you, like, that's why it's important to read. It's called The Negro Project. It's about Margaret Sanger. That bitch was a cold bitch. She was basically like a woman Hitler to black people. She was just basically wanted to hurt. She said that black people were like weeds that needed to be exterminated. And basically that black folk were useless eaters, that they were here for no reason. We didn't need them. They already built the country, so we might as well just kill them. That's how she felt.
I have a $5 billion a year program giving them the resources to invest in research centers and laboratories and high demand fields to compete for good paying jobs in industries of the future like cybersecurity.
You heard what he said. The nigga said, basically, go to school, and then we going to give y'all money to, listen to this shit. We going to give y'all money to go to school, basically, for free. Or give y'all a loan, and y'all go to school for free. And then y'all can go get a good paying job. Clown. If you're in debt $150,000, and your job is only paying you $40,000, nigga, you're never getting out of the debt because they're going to tack on interest. It's like a credit card, clown. If you charge $20,000 on a motherfucking credit card, and then they be like, oh, but your payment is only $50 a month. Nigga, it's gonna take you 10 years to pay off that $20,000. It's just suck ass niggas and that goofy shit. They be like, oh, but nigga, we winning though. No, nigga. Once they start talking this, we gonna give you free education so you can get a good paying job. That's basically telling you, we're going to give you our education so you can be reinserted back into our matrix so you can still be slaves for us. You'll just make a little bit more money. That's all they telling you. Not telling you you're going to make enough money to buy a home. Because if you go to, let's just say you go to a prestigious HBCU or whatever, Hampton or one of them or Florida A&M, them schools cost a grip. Them schools are not cheap. Motherfuckers be acting like HBCUs is like $5,000 a year. Them shits be like $28,000, $30,000 a year. Now, where the fuck you finna get the money from that? Now, nigga, if you a nigga, you better go slang you some dick. You better become a gigolo. Now, if you a woman, you know what you can do depending on how many miles you got on that pussy hole. Because if you got a whole bunch of miles, nigga, it's been one. But, nigga, I wouldn't suggest niggas go to school and get no student loans. Try to get you a partial scholarship or some type of scholarship. Shit. If you got to be like Rachel Dolezal and say you white. or something so you can get in there. You know, that's this bitch. This bitch said, I'm white, but I identify as black. So y'all supposed to let me in. But she used her whiteness to get certain grants and fucking scholarships. People don't know that either.
The reason why they don't, their students are equally able to learn as well and get the good paying job that start at $90,000 and $100,000. But they don't have the money.
Hey, you right about that shit. What the fuck is wrong with him? Just like Vlad saying he think reparations should be in the form of education. Like somebody, police smacked this dude. First of all, did y'all know that Vladimir, like Vladislav, like Vlad the Impaler, he's nothing but he's a white Jew. He's a white Jewish person. People don't know that. He just don't claim that shit like that, but he's white and he's Jewish. It's just he's married to a black sister, so he feel like he can tell niggas what they supposed to be doing. Anytime another racial group is telling black people what they should be doing as far as reparations, if they're not saying black folk need reparations in the hundreds of trillions because they built the country, if any other racial group is not saying that, don't even let them get that shit off their chest. Be like, look, I'm going to have to stop you right there because you're not in a position to be speaking about what black folk deserve after we built this country. Because we didn't speak on the white Jewish community when they got their reparations about the Holocaust that happened in Europe. So why the fuck are you speaking about what the fuck is going on with us? And after you shut their ass down, they ain't going to say nothing. Man, fuck a Vlad TV. Vlad don't want niggas getting money because then niggas ain't going to go on his show and start telling. Look what happened to Casanova, that rapper. Look what happened to him. He was on there doing videos, basically telling everything, thinking there wasn't going to be no problem. And then all the FBI did was use those videos and indict him, and now he in the pen from going on Vlad TV. Vlad is the fucking police, bro. Vlad had a bitch on there. Not that I like that Tekashi Snitch 9, but that nigga had his bitch on there with his fucking police report and how he was corroborating. I'm like, this nigga right here, man, don't nobody say nothing to this nigga? Because if he'd do it to that motherfucker, he'd do it to niggas too. And then he be trying to have niggas, he starts a lot of beef, a lot of internal black on black crime. My question is to people like Vlad, why don't you tell us what the white Jewish community is doing? Why don't you talk shit about the white Jewish community and make fun of them and put them on your shit? Because ain't no white Jewish motherfucker gonna go on Vlad TV. You notice all these other racial groups, they use black art form to get rich. How many times have y'all heard me say it about Pink's ugly ass? That pig-nosed bitch knew she wasn't going to make it singing music like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. So the ugly pig-nosed face bitch brung her Miss Piggy ass over there to black people, started singing Mary J. Blige songs, and all of a sudden, she's on a black record label, and then when she get popping, she go back to singing rock and roll music. I'm like, boy, if this ain't a bitch, and ain't nobody see this shit, I saw it from a mile away. That's why I'm like, bro, man, we got to stop allowing these motherfuckers to say that shit. That nigga said he going to talk about everything but reparations and rewriting the system. America ain't ready for no real deal president. Nah, man. A real deal president. I was watching The Chi last night, and the dude, the character name, if you watch The Chi, his name is Otis Perry, and he got street affiliation. So that nigga, like not his son, but he was kind of taking care of his son, and his son got roughed up by the police. They put him in the hospital. So that nigga went and got the police officer and basically was like, so this is what you be doing, huh? And he was just like, and he just went and did a press conference and was like, yeah, that officer is fired and I'm defunding the police. And everybody was in shock and shit. And I'm like, see, that's what motherfuckers really want. You defund them motherfuckers, they ain't got no bread, but all you got to do is you can put a lien on their bond, but I think a lot of niggas don't want to take the time to do that shit anyway.
To provide and build those laboratories. So guess what? They're going to get the money to build those laboratories. So instead of just talking about infrastructure, let's get about the business of actually rebuilding roads and highways, filling the sidewalks and cracks, installing streetlights and high-speed internet, creating space.
This nigga said, let's talk about the highways and basically redoing the highways and making sure we're filling up the potholes and making sure we're getting internet installed. Nigga, what the fuck does that have to do with reparations for black folk? Man, look, I'm telling you, I can't wait. I ain't really had a chance to talk to no black folk that voted for Joe Biden, man, because, a lot of niggas was trying to vote shame a nigga and shit. Man, I can't believe you ain't vote. Nigga gonna tell me that shit. It was a black woman that told me that shit too. You don't vote then. I don't want to hear you talking. I said, my taxes tell me different. And she was like, what does that mean? I was like, as long as I'm paying taxes in the United States of America Incorporated, I'm gonna always have something to say. Don't take my motherfucking taxes if you don't want niggas to say shit. Oh, well, that's one part of it. I said, no, that's all of it. What the fuck is you talking about? These niggas is taking bread out of my fucking check for some shit that I don't really want them to be taking out. Fuck these motherfuckers, man. Only people that really should be getting AFDC if you live in California or Medicaid is black people. Every other racial group, you're a fucking freeloader, and if you can't get a fucking job, oh well, it's been one. Or, I can't understand you. You need to go back to your country. That's what you need to do. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I said it. That's how I feel. That's fucked up. I can't go to fucking Mexico and be like, hey, man, I'm fucked up out here. I'm going to need some assistance. Them niggas going to be like, oh, Pinchy Mayate, get the fuck out of here, eh? They get to talk. There ain't no way you're going to be able to go to another country and be like, hey, you know what? I'm fucked up out here. I'm going to need some welfare assistance. They going to be like, well, what the fuck you doing here? You should stay your black ass in the United States. This is the only place I know a motherfucker could come here, no ID, no nothing, don't even know nothing, and the motherfucker be talking about, we got rights too. The fuck out of here, nigga. That's why, man, nigga, 066, nigga, when I did jury duty, you know how many Latinos was there? These motherfuckers was on some, please say your last name and your first name and read your badge number. These motherfuckers was like, is speaking Spanish? Like, these niggas couldn't even speak English, but they on the fucking jury duty. And it was a brother that was on trial. And I'm like, this is why niggas be going to jail too. Y'all not even picking niggas to be on jury duty. Y'all picking dominant white society people, Asians, and Latinos. Y'all not picking no niggas. It was probably about, I would say about 40 of us in there. And out of 40, it was 4 black people. Everybody else was dominant society white or Latino, and honorary white supremacists. That's all it was. That fucked me up, man. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, this system is really corrupt, my nigga, for real.
Space to live and work and play safely. Let's ensure access to health care, clean water, clean air, nearby grocery stores, stocked with fresh vegetables and food that, in fact, deal with.
Stocked with fresh vegetables? Man, get the fuck out of here. Every other commercial is, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. That's every other commercial. But you want to tell us, oh, we're going to take this money and we're going to stock it up for fresh vegetables. Nigga, stop. Fresh vegetables cost real fucking money. Nigga, but why when you could just go get you a fucking a dollar, what is it, a 99-cent Big Mac, or you can go get you some 99-cent tacos with nothing but soy in it. You know what I'm saying? You can go get you, what is that, the Impossible Burger? Now, the Impossible Burger, that's nothing but soy in it. But they be pushing a nigga to go get that shit. That's why it's a fast food joint on every corner. That's why when you turn on the TV, you don't never see no commercials about health is wealth and, eating good and these are things you should eat and all this other stuff. No, you don't never see commercials about that. Let me tell you what you see commercials about. We have the meat. Boom, 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 boom. That's all you see every fucking day, that shit. That's what you see that. You see Carl's Jr., you see McDonald's every fucking day. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, that shit. But the motherfucker want to talk about fresh fucking goddamn vegetables. Y'all niggas want to know how to eat? Go eat How to Eat to Live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, the book ain't no fucking joke. The shit actually it kind of had me laughing a little bit. Because he'll be like, that's why you're not supposed to eat the swine. Because the swine has the chicaner worm. And it has these worms, and it can do harm to you, and it does harm to your digestive system. And if it does all those things, why would the white man give that to you? he repeats that shit every time. But you know what? He's saying facts.
I mean, these are all things we can do.
That's why, man, don't get me started on that shit at all, bro. He said taxation without representation. That's a fact, my nigga. That's a fact. That is a fact for real, nigga. Hey, but I just want to ask you one more question, my nigga, before I get up out of here. What's going on with Ghislaine Maxwell? Why they not talking about this bitch and Harvey Weinstein? But Bill Cosby is still locked up and R. Kelly is locked up. Why we not talking about that shit? Why did they let Bill Clinton do the speech for the DNC, but he was in a picture getting a massage by an underage girl? That's not inappropriate. But these motherfuckers is fucking with Bill Cosby. That's because Bill Cosby, it has been said that Bill Cosby's home, his mansion, is on oil. And these oil companies want to drill. So they're trying to bleed his financial stability. They're trying to bleed that dry so he'll be forced to sell it so they can drill that oil that's up under his home. So if anybody in the United States of America owns some type of property and a motherfucker comes snooping around talking about we'll give you triple what it's worth, you better have a motherfucker with a oil well come and drill your shit to make sure you ain't sitting on no oil. Because these motherfuckers know who's sitting on oil, who's not. And when they need to tap into it, they will. For real. He said taxation without representation, I mean reparations. They so afraid of us stepping away from the system. Black Wall Street was a super threat to their agenda. That's a fact, bro. Remember, you got Black Wall Street, and you got Rosewood. Remember all that shit, man? Fucking Andrew Johnson, man. I mean Andrew Jackson. I can't, man. That's why go into the Dominant White Society house and see what pictures they got up. They got John F. Kennedy up. They got Thomas Jefferson. They got George Washington, John Quincy Adams. They got all these motherfucking Dominant White Society people, right? And that's fine. That's who look like them. But then when a nigga come and go in your house and you got Jean-Jacques Dessalines or the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, these motherfuckers start looking at you like you're a damn terrorist. And the last time I checked in 9/11, it wasn't no damn Nation of Islam on those planes. Nigga, those were white Arabs on those planes, man. But nigga, for some sort of reason, you can't even mention the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and these motherfuckers be like, anti-Semitic. You anti-Semitic. But hey, man, you know what it is, man. 066, man. Man, read, do your research, handle your business. You know what it is, man. Each one teach 21. Shout out to everybody out there. Watch this shit while you at work. Make sure you handle your business. Shout out to everybody out there that's listening. Hey, man, if you don't fuck with this shit, don't subscribe. It ain't no love loss. I'm not trying to do you know, I want my shit to grow organically. And when I mean it, I mean that shit. Like, I don't want no new motherfuckers in there because, you know, motherfuckers follow trends and fads. So a motherfucker start getting subscribers. Now all of a sudden motherfucker want to go run over there. Like, I get it, but nah, man, I want motherfuckers that's really on the real shit, man, and studying and reading and just kind of have a different perspective. But hey, man, if you listening to a nigga tell you about, you know, Joe Biden is really finna do real good things for black people, guilty nigga, you a Sambo and I don't fuck with you. I'm out.